Well, good evening. It's 8 o'clock here in Central Texas. All regular traffic, please stand by. It's once again time for the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. And before I get started, let me check and see if there's any emergency or priority traffic out there this evening. Alrighty, well, rest assured we always yield to emergency or priority traffic. If you have any issues, if you need to get a hold of us, just come in there with a break and we'll be glad to turn the system over to you. My name is Sammy, call sign N5TXR, and I am your net control for this evening. It's the first time I've done it since back in November of last year. It's good to be back. Give you a rundown of what we do here every Thursday night. For those who haven't been with us or fairly new to the process, we'll go down and I'm going to take some short time check-ins, and we do that for the folks that may not have enough time to hang with us for the entire net, or maybe they're having to go away and eat dinner or take care of a kid or whatever in between. So they check in short time. You can do that with traffic or no traffic. It's your choice. And let me know if you are mobile or anything like that so we could move you to the top of the list. And don't let that bother you checking in short time. You can always come back in later and participate in the net at any time. You don't have to be a member of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club to join us on our net every Thursday night. We welcome everybody, and we'll do those short time check-ins. The thing about that is that instead of having back and forth with the rest of the net participants, it'll just be maybe one or two things from me back and forth with the short timers. And after that's all done, we'll do our test questions for the general class license out of the general class license pool. And then we'll do some news, notes, nuggets, and frivolities, and announcements, and so on and so forth. Then we'll go in and do our regular check-ins. Well, the reason they need a net control for these kind of things is because it's a control net. So, please keep all your transmissions to the proper time. That would be either checking in or when net control calls on you. And we have several repeaters tied in, as we do every Thursday night. So, quick keying seems to hamper that, so try not to quick key too much. And also, the rest of the guys don't do this, but I log everything pen and paper. So when you're giving me your call sign, please one at a time, one station at a time. Give me that call sign, name, and whether you got traffic or no traffic, and I'll respond to you, and then we'll go to the next one. And I can write it pretty quick, so my hand's pretty much healed, and that's pretty much one of the reasons I haven't done the net in a while. If you want to know any of the connections that we're connected to, any of the repeaters around the area, and some of them as far away as I almost said it. Tawanda. I'll get it in a minute. Buffalo, New York. Towanda, there you go. As far away as that, you can look at n5oak.org and click on the All-Star page, and that will show you the bubble map of all of the connections. I think I laid out pretty much everything. So let's get started. One station at a time. If you want to check in short time, bring me a call sign name now.
This is Kilowatt Bravo 5, Papa Romeo Zulu. It's Court. We're up here in the repeater tower. Short time, giving a tour. No traffic.
Hey, Court, are y'all still in the middle of your little tour up there?
That's correct. We are now offering old microwave junk to the UT Amateur Radio Club members, and they are drooling over it and going to take some of it away, which is great. Thank you.
Hi, Court. Well, thanks for checking in with us. There were some people telling that they missed out. I tried to tell them to be there at 6:30. So I hope that was a success. All right, who's next? Want to check in short time?
This is Kilo 5 Tango, Mike Tango, no traffic.
Oh, come on now, Matt. You know I haven't done the net since November 11th. And you're going to put that no traffic on me?
Sorry about that, Sammy. I'm working late tonight, but I figured I'd at least get a check-in, so it's good to hear you, K5TMT.
You know you could always check back in, just like anybody else. And thank you for letting me know what's going on. All right. Who's next to check in short time?
This is AI5UTG, no message.
AI5UPG. Can you give me the name first, please?
This is Andrew.
All right, Andrew. Welcome, man. I've heard you doing testing on there, and sounds like you have no traffic, but you could always come back in if you hear a topic come up that you want to ask about, or any questions you want to ask about any of the stuff going on at the club or in the system. Feel free. But thanks for checking in. All right, who wants to be next on this first round of short time check-ins?
K5BZI to net control. Sammy, what was his call again?
Kilo Ida 5, KI5UPG.
Uniform Papa Tango?
Uniform Papa Golf.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Back to net.
You, Ray. And in case y'all don't know, Ray is over there running the NetLogger. So if you want to look at NetLogger, if you don't have it downloaded already, you can go to NetLogger and download it. And I don't know what that address is. What is that address, Ray?
Netlogger.com.
Download it, and you could follow along with what's going on the net. All right. Who wants to be next on this first round of short time check-ins?
North Austin. No traffic.
All we got was North Austin, no traffic.
Kilo, Golf 5, Uniform November Kilo, KG5, UNK. Doug.
What's going on there, Doug? It sounded like maybe a mic cord or something. Did you say no traffic?
Yes, sir. No traffic tonight. Just listening. You copy that?
Proud. Yeah, I don't know what happened there at first. Like your mic wasn't depressed fully or something. Something weird. But yeah, you can jump back in anytime, man, if you want to talk about anything or bring up something. All right, who's next? Wants to get on this first round of short time check-in?
This is KC5AJE, Chad, South Austin, no traffic.
All right, Chad, got you in there for no traffic. Looks like we're batting 1,000 so far. All right, who's next? Wants to check in short time? Bring me that call sign name now.
This is Kilo India 6, Hotel Quebec Tango, Ken, South Austin, no traffic.
Ken, got you in there. No traffic. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club on the AI5A and Associated Systems, and we're currently taking our first round of short-time check-ins. So if you want to do the first round of short-time check-ins, probably the only round of short-time check-ins, bring me a call sign and name now.
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Papa Hotel, Chase as in Chase Bank in South Austin, no traffic.
All right, Chase. Welcome, man. Chase is in Chase. That's a good way to do it, man. That way it doesn't confuse anybody. But you're welcome, and you're welcome to join in at any time. We're always accommodating. All right, who else wants to get on this first round of short time check-ins?
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve, in the Dripping Springs area. Just upgraded from my rubber duck on my handheld to an Ed Fong J-pole and testing it out tonight.
Well, that's good business, Steve. A couple of you double there. Can you give me that call one more time, please?
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve.
Got it now. Uniform Kilo Foxtrot. Traffic or no traffic?
No traffic.
Thank you, sir.
Traffic.
And, all you new guys, just keep in mind that if you hear a subject come up or you want to ask anything at any time during the net, just because you check in short time does not preclude you from joining in at any other time. Just keep that in mind. All right, let's see who wants to be next on this first round of short time check-ins. ZL. ZL, go ahead.
November 5, Zulu Lima, Scott, in B Caves, no traffic.
All right, Scott, got you in there. Welcome. I think you probably just heard what I said. All right, who's next on this first round short time check-ins?
This is KG5 SKZ, Adam.
All right, there was a little bit of a double there. Adam, give me that call again, please.
Kilo Golf 5, Sierra Kilo Z. Calling from East Austin after leaving the antenna tour on top of the UT building.
Let me check this call sign one more time. I think I got it. Kilo Golf 5, Sierra Kilo Zulu, correct?
Correct. Kilo Golf 5, Sierra Kilo Zulu. Correct.
Well, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Traffic or no traffic?
No traffic. I had added earlier that I'm in East Austin and just left the antenna tour on the UT building, which was really cool.
Roger that. Yeah, I heard you, but I had a little bit of trouble with the call sign. Well, did they point out the the N5OAK repeater antenna while you were up there?
Yeah, but there were so many antennas, I couldn't possibly remember which was which. But yes, they did.
The prettiest one, the best looking one, the most fabulous one. And that's the repeater I'm using right this second. Well, thanks, Adam, for joining us. And like I've been telling everybody else, feel free to come back in if you hear something or want to talk about something. All right, let's do another short time check-in. Give me your name and call sign now.
Lance, KI5HHK.
All right, Lance. How you doing, man? You got traffic or no traffic?
Good to hear you, Sammy. No traffic. Just thought I'd check in real quick and have a good night. 7-3.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I was waiting for my voice to clear up all the way and waiting for be able to write, but I'm still not. I'm still not riding like I should be, and the voice is not 100%, but it's getting there. Thanks, Lance. All right, anybody else want to check in? First round, short time check-ins.
Whiskey 5, Delta Golf Victor.
Delta Golf Victor, try it again. Give me that call sign again.
It's Whiskey 5, Delta Golf Victor. Don't know if I'm making it into the machine.
Yep, you're making it in. I just didn't copy there. Delta Golf Victor, correct? And what's the name on there?
That name over here is Dave. I'm over here on the south side of Canyon Lake. Got a brand new radio and got a bunch of frequencies programmed into it, so I figured I'd check in with you guys.
Well, good deal. You want to hang out for a while or no traffic?
No, I don't have no traffic. Unless Rod Moog is going to come up here, then I could give him a bunch of grief about playing fiddle over.
He may be around. You know, he's one of my buddies. So he may be around this evening. He's probably waiting to check in on a regular check-in. But, Dave, you're got a little tad bit of noise on you, but you're making it in really good. And I'll write you down for no traffic, but you can jump back in anytime if you hear somebody you want to talk to or something you want to talk about. Feel free. And thanks for joining us. All right, anybody else want to get on this first round of short time check-ins?
This is coming back from the Kyle's antenna excursion.
Well, when you come on there, then somebody doubled with you after that way, and all we really heard was Kyle's antenna excursion. But it sounded like Paul, but I'm not sure.
This is Paul, KA6ATN. That's all I said. I just said I came back from Kyle's tour. It was very enlightening, very interesting. There's a lot more to it than I thought.
Well, did you see the N5A repeater antenna up there?
Yeah, it stood out among all the rest. I mean, it was shinier and better looking, man. You guys got a good looking antenna there, I'll tell you.
It's the crooked one, K5BZI.
All right, you got traffic or no traffic?
No traffic.
All right, thanks, Paul. And there was another station there, doubled a little bit. Go ahead, sir.
This is KI5PZN Ernesto.
Ernesto. You want traffic or no traffic?
We'll take traffic, sir.
Oh, you're the first one. You just broke the chain. Good to hear you. I'm still working on my voice. I still got stuff catching in my throat. Let me do a quick ID before he checks more people in. Oh, this is N5TXR, and you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net on the N5OAK and associated systems. And we are in the midst of checking in our first round of short time check-ins. So if you want to check in short time, bring me that call sign and name now.
Whiskey 5, Romeo Oscar November, Ron and Burnett, short time, no traffic, in and out.
Hey, Ron, good to hear you, man. And that's how you do it. Short time, in and out. Thanks, Ron. Haven't heard you in a while. All right, anybody else want to check in first round short time check-ins?
This is
November 5, Sierra Mike Oscar Bill, North Austin, no traffic, but I'll be hanging out for a little while.
All right, Bill, got you in there. No traffic. Thank you, sir. All right, who's next?
Contact.
Hey, contact.
Hey, this is W5DGV. Can I drag Ron over to the Marble Falls machines, the 14702?
If he's still here, Ron, did you copy that?
WW5RON QSY. Be back in the bed.
Thank you, Nat. W5DGV QSY.
All righty, I didn't check you in. So, if you want to check in, you can come back later. All right, who else wants to get on short-time check-ins? Bring me a call sign name now. Well, we got a real good list going here. Let me see if I'm doubling with anybody. Right. So we'll go down this list. Sorry about if I'm clearing my throat, but, I'm still not 100% on throat-wise. Let's go down here. First off, we had Court, KB5PRZ, and he was calling in from the tour of the KA5D, KB5PRZ systems down there, along with the N508K at the PMA building on the University of Texas. Thanks for checking in. Next, we had K5TMT. He had no traffic. Then we had KI5UP. I think it was Anderson, but no, I can't. Andrew, I think it was. He had no traffic. Then we had, let's see, who's next? Oh, yeah, KG5UNR. That's Doug. He had no traffic. Then we had Chad, KC5AJE. He had no traffic. Then we had Ken, KI6HQT, with no traffic. Then we had Chase, KI5 Uniform Papa Henry. He had no traffic. Then we had KI5 Uniform Kilo Fox, that's Steve. He had no traffic. Then we had Scott, N5ZL. He had no traffic. Then we had Adam, KG5SKZ. He had no traffic. Then we had Lance, KI5HHK, with no traffic. Then we had Dave, W5DGV, out there at the lake. He had no traffic, but he's waiting to see if Rod shows up. Then we had Paul, K6ATN, with no traffic. So, KI5PZN, and he's got traffic. Tell us, Nesto. Testify, man.
This is KI5PZN. Hey, Sammy and everybody on the net. It's really good to have you back on the net. Good to hear that things are going better for you and Leslie, and to see that you're getting stronger too. It's good news, and I'm sure everybody's happy to hear you running the net as well. Just got up from work. I guess the busiest time of the year for me, from work a couple of days ago. So I'm starting to play radio again. It's always exciting. I think that's about it. Nothing very exciting, I guess. It's been so busy, but yeah, thanks again for running the net, and it's really good to hear you, man. This is KI5PZN. Back to net control.
All right, Nesto. Thank you, sir. Feel free to jump back in. We might bring up a subject or two. You might want to get in on it. And next we had WW5RON, and he's done QSY'd off somewhere. That's the reason we have short-time check-ins. Then we had Bill, Mr. Bill, with N5SMO with no traffic. Now, let me check and see if anybody else wants to get in on a short-time check-in before we move on to test questions.
Kilo Victor 5 Tango X-ray.
Hey, Chris, I almost doubled with you, but I got off of it. KB5TX, Chris, Vice President of the club, by the way. All right, anybody else want to check in? Short time.
Kilo 5, Romeo Zulu uniform, K5RZU.
The first part of that got cut off, and I didn't catch the name. I think that's Zulu, but I'm not sure. K5RZU, correct?
You are correct, sir. Thank you very much, Net Control. This is Zulu, K5RZU. Listening in, I always learn so much for you guys, and I just want to say thank you for the net.
All right, man. You on no traffic?
No traffic today, sir. I'm just going to listen in and see what you guys have to say. Thank you so much. K5RZU.
No problem. Anybody else want to jump in on this first round of short-time check-ins?
This is AC5G, Alpha Charlie 5 Golf, Philip.
All right, Philip, got you in there. Traffic or no traffic?
No traffic for now. I've got to get the little ones to bed here in a bit, but I may hop back on and chat for a little bit a little later on if they fall asleep soon enough. AC5G, back to net. Thanks.
No problem, man. That's why we got the short time. You're more than welcome to jump back in. All right, anybody else want to get on this first round of short-time check-ins? He's probably listening and going, no, it's your second round. So I guess it is the second round. So let's go through this second round. And at the top of that list is KB5TX. Chris, what's happening, man? Thank you for showing up.
Oh, not much over here. Just trying to plan out this replacement coax run for the 775 machine. And
right up what they are. And snags, oh yeah, you'll overcome the snags. I have plenty of faith in you. And by the way, did you ever find a place that had the 90-degree connectors?
Yeah, I did, but they only sell it for that the regular half-inch hardline. The link you sent me is made by someone else, and I don't know if they're compatible. But that's what I'm working on. KB5TX.
Andrews. I check Andrews. And whoever is over Andrews now. All right, man. Well, thanks for checking in. All right, next was Zulu, K5RZU. He's hanging out with no traffic. And then Philip, AC5G, with no traffic. Let me do another ID. This is N5TXR, and you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net here on the N5OAK and Associated Systems. And right now what we're going to do is our weekly test questions. And since we got a bunch of new guys here, this is a time that you can learn some stuff about taking your general class license exam. So the way I do it, I try to make it as simple as possible, for one thing. I try to keep it simple so I can read the questions and answers without a whole lot of delay of the net. So, first we will only take answers from technicians on the first question until all the technicians have checked in with their answers. And anybody can do this. You don't have to check in or anything else. If you want to answer the question, you're more than welcome to. But we're going to take it from technicians first, and then when we exhaust that, we'll ask anybody else with a general line above if they want to answer the question. So, any of you new guys, here's your chance to think about it, see it, jump, it's going to jump at you. And if you know the answers to the questions immediately, you're probably ready to go take your test. But if not, you'll learn. You'll get them. So let me let it drop. Let me get to the very first question. This one is out of the G1A. And here is the question. On which of the following bands is phone operation prohibited? And your possible answers are 160 meters is A, B is 30 meters, C is 17 meters, and D is 12 meters. Let me repeat the question. On which of the following bands is phone operation prohibited? A, 160, B, 30, C, 17, and D, 12. So if you're a technician grade, licensee, and you want to try to answer this question, bring me a call sign now.
KG5UNK.
Doug, go ahead. What's your answer?
I'll select B, Bravo.
For Bravo. All right. Anybody else? Technician grade?
KI5MV.
Come on, all those
Charlie.
KI guys. I think we got 3 KI5Us. And y'all want to try it? Come ahead.
I'm going to go for Charlie.
MBF says Charlie. All right. Anybody else want to try it? Technician class. All right, there's no technician class left. Any other class? You want to try this answer? Bring call now.
Double there, Sammy. Try again.
The stage not double with. If you want to try to answer, go ahead.
Yeah, this is KG5SKZ. I'm also going to go with B30, Bravo.
SKZ for Bravo. And go ahead, Mike.
This is KI5TXH. I'm going to go with Bravo. Good hearing you back, Femi. Back to control.
Thank you, Mike. Anybody else want to try that question? Alrighty. With another drum roll. Let's see. Y'all can't hear that. The correct answer is indeed Bravo. So UNK, SKZ, and KXH will move on to the next question. And let me let it drop, and I will give you that question, and only you 3 will be able to answer it. Sorry, Jeffrey. All right, the next question is, which of the following frequencies is within the general class portion of the 75-meter phone band? Since that's a long one, I'll go ahead and say it again. Which of the following frequencies is within the general class portion of the 75-meter phone band? Your first possible answer is 3750 or 3.750. That is answer A. Your next one is 3900. That's answer B. Your next one is 1875 kilohertz. That is option C. And the last but least, D, 4005 kilohertz. So, if you need to repeat that, I will. But, Doug, you're first. What do you think that answer is?
Okay, give me the first 2 answers again, please.
This is phone, remember, of 75 meter. The first one, A, is 3750. B is 3900.
I'm going to pick 3900. that'll be my choice. KG5UNK.
That's Bravo. All right, SKZ, what are you thinking, man?
Well, I'm just pulling out a guess, but I'm going to say 3750. A.
All right, that's option A. And Mr. KXH, what do you think, sir?
Oh, I think I'm leaning towards Bravo.
Pretty well, all contestants have weighed in, and the correct answer is B, Bravo, 3900. And thanks for everyone. And you new guys can see how that kind of works. And anybody's welcome to join in on the test questions. And we do that in between things going on here. And next thing we're going to do, I'll go ahead and identify so they won't have to. This is N5TXR, and you're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, here on the N5OAK and Associated Systems. And next up, we're going to see if Reverend Ray, K5BZI, is going to give us some news, notes, and nuggets. Ray, are you ready? You got it all together over there?
Wait, what, I'm doing the news? No, just kidding. This is Ray, K5BZI, and I got a couple long ones for you guys, so I'm going to talk kind of quickly, so get your ears working. Picture it, 1961. It was the middle of the Cold War. John F. Kennedy is inaugurated as the 35th President of the United States. The Bay of Pigs invasion fails in Cuba. The Beatles perform for their first time at the Cavern Club in Liverpool, and Freedom Riders are arrested in Jackson, Mississippi for disturbing the peace. Construction of the Berlin Wall begins. Roger Maris of the New York Yankees hits his 61st home run in the last game of the season, beating the 34-year-old record held by Babe Ruth, and Barbie gets a boyfriend named Ken. Well, just 4 years earlier, the Soviet Union had launched Sputnik, the first human-made object to orbit the Earth, ushering in the space age. For the next 30 years, the Cold War rivalry between the U.S. and the former Soviet Union focused on attaining first in space exploration. These were seen as necessary for national security and symbolic of technological and ideological superiority. The, quote, space race involved pioneering efforts to launch artificial satellites, suborbital and orbital human spaceflight around the Earth, as well as piloted voyages to the Moon. Barely 4 months after the successful launch of Sputnik 1, the United States launches the unmanned Explorer 1 on January 31st, 1958. At about that same time, a group of hams on the West Coast, Lance Genner, K6GSJ, Chuck Smallhouse, W6MGZ, Ed Beck, K6ZX, Al Diem, Chuck Towns, K6LFH, silent key, and Nick Marshall, W6 Oscar Lima Oscar, also silent key, began toying with the idea of launching an amateur radio satellite into orbit and organized themselves into Project Oscar. After a series of high-level exchanges among Project Oscar members, the ARRL, and the U.S. Air Force, a launch opportunity on a Thor DM-21 Agenda B rocket from Vandenberg Air Force Base in California was secured for the very first amateur radio satellite, Oscar 1. It was successfully launched into a low Earth orbit on the morning of December 12, 1961, only 4 years after the launch of Sputnik 1. The satellite was also the world's first non-government bird. In 1961, more than 570 amateurs in 28 countries forwarded observations to the Project Oscar Data Reduction Center. Unfortunately, Oscar 1 lasted only 22 days in orbit before its batteries gave out, transmitting high in Morse code on 145 megahertz. Oscar 1 ran only 140 milliwatts on battery power. The word high was chosen over any particular call sign since it was, and still is, internationally recognized as a friendly greeting among radio amateurs. This was 50 years. Oscar 1 is celebrating 50 years ago. the satellite was built quite literally in the basements and garages of the Project Oscar team. It was the first satellite to be ejected as a secondary payload from a primary launch vehicle and then enter a separate orbit. This was accomplished using a very high technology and thermally balanced ejection system. A $1.15 spring from Sears is what ejected it. The total out-of-pocket cost, not including material donations, of Oscar 1 was $68. Oscar 1 was a 10-pound, 12-by-12-inch package constructed mostly of magnesium, used for both its strength and because of weight requirements. The satellite was located near the tail end of the rocket, near the engines. The satellite was tested and designed to handle nearly 50 Gs of force, the type of shock that might be encountered during launch and separation phases. The final version of Oscar was gold-plated and had black metallic strips across its base to regulate its internal temperature. Explosive squibs and compression springs helped propel Oscar 1 away from the rocket. Spring switches on the satellite released the antenna and applied power to the transmitter and keying circuits. A keyer and timer were used to generate the high. The speed ascent was based upon the international temperature of the satellite. Two thermistors located within the craft and controlled the timer and its temperature variations. The thermistors censored that determined the CW speed. Three 18-volt batteries were placed in parallel to power the transmitter, timer, and keyer. The entire unit was fitted with a foam-like material to keep the internal boards immobile. Since there was no solar cell charging system available at the time, the original designed expected operation time for the batteries was approximately 28 days. Fast forward 50 years to 2011, an estimated 2 billion people watched the wedding of Prince William, Duke of Cambridge, and Catherine Middleton at Westminster Abbey in London. Osama bin Laden, the founder and leader of the militant Islamist group Al-Qaeda, is killed in an American military operation in Pakistan. Southern Sudan holds a referendum on independence. Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak resigns after widespread protests calling for his resignation. A 9.1 magnitude earthquake and subsequent tsunami hit the east coast of Japan, killing more than 14,000 and leaving another 11,000 missing. Amateur radio celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Oscar 1 launch. 50 years is a long time and an important milestone, thought ARR lab test engineer Bob Allison, WB1 GCM, and then he had a light bulb moment. Why not take back up Oscar 1 on display at ARR headquarters and make it work again? So W1AW station manager Joe Carsa, NJ1Q, and Allison began tinkering with the satellite, one of three made by Project Oscar. One of the satellites went up into space in '61, one is on display at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum of Washington, D.C., and the other, until recently, sitting in a display case on the first floor of the headquarters building in Newington. Quote, "We really wanted to make this work again," said Allison, So we looked in the February 1962 issue of QST that was dedicated to Oscar 1, the first ever amateur radio satellite to go into orbit, but the schematic we published didn't quite match up with what we were seeing when we opened up the satellite and had here at the headquarters. According to Karsha and Allison, this could be that back in the days of the Cold War and space race, the U.S. military did not want the correct schematic falling into improper hands. Quote, "I tried for days tracing components on the board and I just wasn't working," said Karsha. So I called up Lance Ginner, Kilo 6 Golf Sierra Juliet, one of the original Project Oscar people. He kind of laughed and said he didn't think they would do that, but you never know. After much trial and error, Karsha finally got Oscar 1 to transmit a signal at 145 megahertz, just as his original satellite did. Since specific technical literature on the satellite was unavailable, information taken from 1962 QST and CQ articles assisted in the reconstruction of the transmitter in the ARRL unit. Much care was given to salvage the original components, although time had taken its toll on most of the circuitry. As such, the transmitter functions. The actual keying of the transmitter is performed using a PIC beacon keyer. Power is supplied using a standard wall cube providing 12 volts DC. In honor of Oscar 1's 50th anniversary, the rebuilt satellite will be on display at the ARR Expo area at the Dayton Hamvention, May 20th through 22nd at Hara Arena in Trotwood, Ohio. Quote, "We have hooked Oscar 1 up to a dummy load running very low power, and as you walk by, you will hear it transmit high, just as it did 50 years ago," said Allison. Since the transmission does not identify, you won't be able to pick it up on your handheld transceiver while at Hera. Oscar 1 will be running as a Part 15 device. So if you make it out to Hamvention, be sure to go check out the third backup of the original Oscar 1 satellite. Pretty cool stuff there. And happy 50th anniversary, Oscar 1. And in fox hunting news, Miguel Enriquez, Kilo Delta 7 Romeo Papa Papa, is an instructor with the ARRL's Teacher Institute on Wireless Technology, as well as a math and electronics teacher at Pueblo High School in Tucson, Arizona. One of his responsibilities at Pueblo is advising the school's amateur radio club. Quote, our radio club has discovered how much fun ham radio can be as a way to improve the math, science, technology, and communication skills of the students, he told ARRL. We are also fortunate that the ARRL has been generous in providing us with equipment, materials, supplies, and curricula. Without their support, we would not currently be involved in building QRP transceivers, ATV down converters for our amateur TV station, underwater robots for mapping lakes recently discovered in caves in the Southwest, or fox hunt transmitters. Since the article named A Transmitter for Fox Hunting by former ARRL Education and Technology Program Coordinator Mark Spencer, WA8SME, appeared in the May 2011 issue of QST, Enrique says the Pueblo High School Amateur Radio Club has been, quote, swamped with requests for transmitters. He states, our high school club offers information about fox hunting and the transmitters free of charge to schools and clubs that sponsor amateur radio activities for young people. According to ARRL Education Services Manager Deborah Johnson, Kilo 1 Delta Mike Juliet, Enriquez and his students are offering the transmitters at no charge. Quote, their plan is to supply the boards to clubs, schools, or anyone promising to use them to support amateur radio outreach with kids, she explained. They have been doing some fundraising to support the cost of providing the boards. Enrique said that the demand for the transmitters has far exceeded their supply by saying, with the school year winding down, we are unable to replenish our supply until the fall semester. We will reorder the circuit boards and components over a summer and will gladly provide 50 kits, that's 2 transmitters per school or organization, free of charge to the first 50 requests we receive. We are offering the transmitter in kit form because building 100 transmitters in a timely fashion would be a lot of stretch for our high school students. However, if you cannot find someone to build the kits and are willing to wait a while longer, our students will provide built Fox transmitters for you. Enriquez explained that not only will these first transmitters be supplied at no cost, postage will also be borne by the high school club. He says the Pueblo Amateur Radio Club salvaged and sold more 400 pounds of copper from used cables, equipment, and antennas that were donated to the club. The club voted to use those monies to pay for the Fox Hunt transmitters. Part of the Pueblo High School Amateur Radio Club's mission is to contribute something of value to our country, so we decided to do just that by helping schools and organizations add some fun learning to their amateur radio activities that will result in improved communication and emergency operation skills. If your school or organization is interested in getting on a list to obtain these free transmitters, please send Enriquez an email and he will respond as quickly as time permits. And you can find a link to Mr. Enriquez's email address by going to arrl.org/news and look for the report titled High School Radio Club to offer free fox hunting transmitter kits. And for that and any more news or fun information regarding the ham radio hobby, feel free to go over to arrl.org/news where we get these news reports and others there on the site. And with that, I'm done. This is K5BZI, Ray in South Austin. Sammy, good to have you back. Thanks for hosting the net tonight, and we'll catch you on regular check-ins. Back to net.
All right. Well, that was pretty much a mouthful. Appreciate it, man. Let me drop in an ID real quick. You are currently listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, right here on the N5OAK and Associated Systems. And if you want to know about those associated systems and how many repeaters you're coming over, you can go to n5oak.org and look at the All-Star page, and it will show you. All right. Let me see if anybody's got any questions or comments about the news before we move on. If you do, bring me a call sign now. All righty. Sure, I'm not doubling. All right, with that, we're going to turn it over to the president of the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club for some news and notes of his own. Rusty, are you with us?
I am indeed, and it is so good to hear you on the net, man. Thanks for doing this. It's fantastic. For those of you who are new, which we got quite a few new check-ins, so if we got any new people out there listening, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club has a trivia net right here every Friday at 9 p.m. We had 15 players last week. Last week's winner was Scott, KI5OBD. Way to go, sir. Number 1. Kent, KI5RBT, coming in second, and our very own Sammy, N5TXR, coming in spot number 3. So congrats to you, gentlemen. And then everybody made it to round 3. Jeffrey, KI5MVF, Scott, KI5OBD, and Leonard, KI5NLC, all made it to the second round in the elimination round. And as far as the player rankings go, we still got Kent, KI5RBT, hanging out in the number 1 spot, followed by Adam, N5YHF, and David, N6DBX, coming in third. Anybody can play. All you need is a smartphone, tablet, or computer. We got the bingo starting up around 8:30, so you got something to do while you're hanging out waiting for the net to begin. I will put all the details and the link in the Thursday Night Net Discord channel for those of you who are new, and that way you can go check it out. You can check out player rankings, stats, net logs, any and all things that you want to know about the Friday Night Trivia Net on n5oak.org. All you got to do is click on the Trivia Net tab, and you can see gameplay, game rules, when the next one is. The next one's going to be tomorrow at 9 p.m. As far as official club business, we are officially up to 420 members. Way to go, y'all. Paul, KA6ATN, finally got on the roster, so good to have you there, Paul. Mike updated his call sign. He's now K5MWA, so good thing we got that changed. Jason, KB5MPJ, is officially a member. Good to have you on the roster there, buddy. And Travis, KI5UX, is also, he's the last one on there. He is member 420. We have been having lots of fox hunts, and that is thanks to a KI5MVF. So if you would like to sign up to be the fox, go check out the Fox Hunt channel on Discord, and you can go in the little pin section there. You can go and put your name. We had Kent made it happen last weekend there in Easter, so thanks Kent, KI5RBT, for making that happen. We also have a DMR sound check every Tuesday night there in our Southside Simplex as well. It's at 8 p.m. It'll be on the 441-300 machine just as soon as we get our internet back up and running. It is the Amateur Logic Sound Check Net, and it is a great place for all you guys that have all kinds of digital modes. Thank you, Mr. Repeater. You can check in analog via All-Star, Echolink, Hamshack Hotline, or you can check in digital with DMR, both Brandmeister and TGIF, D-Star, NXDN, P25, Wires X, YSF, pretty much anything and everything. You can get in there and test out all your digital gear. The easiest way to stay up to date is subscribe to the official club calendar. You can head over to n5oak.org and click on the calendar tab to make that happen. You can also add your birthday, and I think the last birthday we celebrated was Ray. So, yeah, I've also added a lot of photos, so go check out the photo gallery, and if you have any photos that you would like to add, you can do so in the web suggestions channel on Discord. So I think that's going to wrap up all of my news and nuggets. Sammy, thank you so much for running the net. It's good to hear you on here, man. And, yeah, we'll see you later down in the net logs. This is WZ5BBS, back to net control.
All right, Rusty, thank you. Thank you so much. The only thing that I guess hasn't been said yet for the new guys is if you want to join Discord, which is our little chat room type deal. Private chat room amongst friends. You can look at the bottom page of the website, on the bottom of the page, of the home page on the website. There's a tab down there to join. You click that tab, it puts you in the queue, and somebody in the admin will approve your coming to the Discord server. And that's how you do that. Also, I know it's a little early, Rusty, but want to let everybody know about the upcoming meeting that's going to be for the first time in person in a long time. That's going to be at the State Fire Marshals and Firefighters Association over there in the Manchaca, July the 16th. So don't be square of you 420. All right, let me let it drop. All right, anybody else got any club news or Fox Hut news, anything like that? Anybody want to talk about any of that stuff before we move on? The time is now.
AI5MVF.
Most Venerable Fox, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I was just going to give a full Fox update. As Rusty mentioned, Kent, KI5RBT, hosted one over the weekend. It was his first one, so we really appreciate him building and hosting a Fox transmitter. He posted it up at Flex Radio Systems up in North Austin, just off of Howard Lane. Based on what he shared with the group, it looks like only 3 people found it. Let me let it drop. If you heard Ashley sneeze, bless Ashley. So on Ken's blog, it shows that he placed it, and then Ashley and myself, we found it. KF5KLI, I believe, found it, and Paul, KA5FZU, found it as well. I'm not sure if anybody else found it. If Kent is in here, he can jump in after me and confirm if anybody else found it, but congratulations to those people that found it. It was a pretty tricky one. I think he's discussed getting an upgraded antenna, but if you found it, it was worth finding because there was some good swag in there from Flex Radio Systems and some new club stickers. Kent has made it as well. There's nobody signed up to host this weekend. If anybody would like to host, please just call out or send a message over on Fox Hunt. I do still have the Ernesto KI5PZN Fox. So maybe Ernesto wants to get that from me, or if he's interested in loaning it out to somebody else, I'm happy to deliver it. I will be out of town this weekend, and so I won't be available to participate, but I'd be happy to drop it off at somebody's place, given Ernesto's permission, tomorrow morning. So just let me know. But this is KI5MVF with the Fox Hunt updates. Back to net.
Hi, Jeffrey. Thank you, sir. It sounded like that one the RBT put up was a good difficulty score. If only 4 or 5 people found it. That's pretty cool. Anybody got anything for Jeffrey or anything about fox hunting or anything else before we move along? All righty, thank you, Jeffrey. It's about the bewitching hour. Let me do another ID real quick. Then we get some regular check-ins. You are listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net here on the N5OAK and Associated Systems. And we are now going to take regular check-ins. Please give me one at a time and give me phonetics and name, and we'll get started right now. Who wants to check in on this first round of regular check-ins?
This is? Hello, Alpha 5 Delta, Kyle.
AA5D, got you in there. Thank you, sir. All right, who's next?
This is KI5OBD, Scott down in Kyle.
Good evening, Scott. Got you in there. All right, who's next?
This is
Whiskey 5, Golf Charlie Hotel. This is Ron and Driftwood on the 620.
Ron, good evening. Got you in there. I don't know what repeater you are, but it's a tad bit scratchy, but we heard you all right. All right, who's next on a regular check-in?
This is Kilo Golf Fife, Kilo Victor Juliet, Garrett, Buda, no traffic.
Hey, Garrett. Got you in there with no traffic. All right, who is next?
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform X-Ray Golf. This is Travis in South Austin.
All right, Travis, got you in there. Oh, let's see. Was that Uniform X-Ray Golf or Victor X-Ray Golf?
Uniform X-Ray Golf.
I had it right the first time. I was just, wasn't sure. All right, who's next on this first round of regular check-ins?
Is Kilo India 5, Kilo X-Ray Hotel, Mike, North Austin, Mueller area. No traffic.
All right, Mike, got you in there with no traffic. All right, who's next?
This is Kilo India 5, Mike Victor Frank, Jeffrey in South Austin.
All right, Jeffrey, got you in there, sir. Who is next? We're taking our first round of regular check-ins. We've got a few folks so far, only a couple, no traffic, so if you want to join us tonight, I want to hang out, bring me that call sign now.
This is Kilo India 5, Uniform Kilo Foxtrot, Steve.
Kilo India 5, Uniform Kilo Fox. I got you in for no traffic, so you want a recheck. And I got you wrote down for a recheck. If you caught that, Ray. Ray's doing net logger, so he probably caught it, but I wanted to let him know. I think you said Steve. Let me check my notes. Yeah, Steve. All right, I got you in there, Steve. All right, who's next on this first round of regular check-ins? I want to let some of you old-time guys, the ones that have been here for a while, know that KG5GYM showed up on the repeater system today. He sold his place out there around Dripping Springs and bought him a place in New York, and he got in on EchoLink. So for those of you who know Mikey, I guess he's going to start showing back up a little bit. All right, we're taking the first round of regular check-ins. If you want to check in, now's the time. Give me a call sign name.
This is Kilowatt 5, Bravo Zulu India, Ray in South Austin.
All right, Ray, I got you in there. All right, who's next? we'll go with this round here and see what happens later. First up was Kyle, KA5D. How did are you calling it a tour, or are you calling it, what are you calling it? How did it go?
Good evening, Sammy. This is Kyle, KA5D. And I just got back from doing an open house tour of the repeater site. It was posted as an event on the N5OAK system, and it was also for the UT Amateur Radio Club members, many of whom joined, including their future president, vice president, treasurer, and some folks from the old club too. And we had a good time. It went quite a bit longer than I expected. Lots of people had questions. Lots of people had ideas about how they could add to the infrastructure, which was kind of cool. I won't spoil the fun on that, but we've got ideas floating, so that's cool. And yeah, went really well. It's nice to put a face to some call sign to some call signs, and we had a good time. So this weekend we're doing some Parks on the Air Friday night at Richland Creek Wildlife Management Area near Palestine, Texas. That's going to be after the sun goes down, so hopefully we'll hear some of you guys on there too. Back to net, KA5D.
Yeah, somebody's already said that you pointed out the magnificent N5OAK repeater antenna there on the roof. Said it was the most shiny, gleamingest one of all. So I was glad to hear that. Well, it's good that y'all were over there long. I told earlier, I was talking to Paul, and I said, I don't know, you need to get there about a little bit before 6:30, because I don't know how many people can fit in that elevator, but did you only make one trip up?
We had 2 elevator trips, and then, I don't know, there was probably maybe up to 10 people. So we had to kind of file in and out of the repeater room. You know how small it is. But everybody got their share of viewing time, and we spent a good deal of time on the roof too. That was fun.
Sounds like a big steaming bowl of fine business. All right, anybody got anything for Kyle out there this evening about the open house or his repeater system or anything at all? This is the time that we throw it back and forth. So if you got anything for Kyle, bring me a call sign now.
K5BZI.
Go ahead, Ray.
Well, I was going to ask you, Kyle, what the turnout was like, and you said it was like 10 or so folks, and that's pretty darn good turnout. And I've said it before, but it can't be said enough. Thank you again for hosting our repeaters there. The 200, the 440, it's pretty awesome. It's a fantastic opportunity, and we do not take it for granted. We really do appreciate that. I couldn't make it today, but having helped install a repeater up there, I've been there and seen it. It's pretty awesome, and I think it's pretty awesome that you did an open house. So kudos to you for that. Glad to hear that the UT guys were showing up. I'm curious how many of those in attendance were UT club members. I'm hoping that club's starting to grow and get some activity, because that's pretty neat stuff there. So. But again, thanks again for hosting us there, and thanks for doing an open house. It's pretty cool. K5BZI, over to you, Kyle.
Yeah, you bet. It's always a pleasure to pitch in and help out with the Oak Hill Club and UT Club. UT had good representation. I think there were 7 or 8 people from that club, and most of them had ham radio licenses, which is a progress. The first club meeting that they had late last year, there were only 2 people in the group that had licenses. So there's a lot of folks that are getting their license. There's a lot of folks in there that I had talked to before, so I'm glad to see them getting on the air, and I made it clear that those resources were there for them to use and have fun with. So looks like we're getting a lot of interest. Back to you, KA5D.
Yeah, that's great. That's really, really good. The fact that many of them turned out for the tour means they're interested and involved, so that's a good thing. And on that, let me just remind everybody, and I'll mention it later on, but the UT Amateur Radio Club has a net on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. and it's simulcast or connected through the Oak system. So you guys be sure to check them out and support the UT Amateur Radio Club on Wednesday nights at 8. And I'll pass it back over to Sammy, K5BZI.
All right, thank you both. Thank you, gentlemen, both. And nobody has made anything about the 420 yet, except me. So I was hoping that somebody else would drop it besides me, or maybe my reference is not understood. And Kyle, thank you so much. And glad you had some folks show up and do some stuff. And like Ray says, Wednesday nights here on the Oak system. Now you could hear the UT net. All right, let's go down this list here. Let's see what. Well, let me see if anybody else got anything for Kyle before we split. Anybody got anything for Kyle?
MVS.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Hey, Kyle. Sorry I couldn't make it. It's really cool that you hosted this event, you and Court. I don't know who leads it more than the other, but credit to both of you, I'm sure. And the UT Club. Really wish I could have made it. But hopefully getting out there, if you'll let me, when we do the 775 repairs. And then I also wanted to make a special note to Sammy. He told me earlier today, I was telling him I wasn't sure if I was going to make it back in time for the net, if I went to the tour. And he said, oh, it's starting at 6:30. And I said, yeah, Sammy, sure, it starts at 6:30, but you know how us hams are. 6:30 quickly turns into 7:30, and then 7:30 turns to 8:30. So here we are, it's 9:12. You guys are just now making it home, so I just wanted to say hello as well. KI5MVS.
Hello, and I got you on the list for helping hands when we do that repair, KA5D.
All right, anybody else got anything for Kyle before we move on? Kyle, I don't know if you've seen it, but Perry dropped a bit of money over here. He's taking away all my board and all my effects.
Well, that's fantastic. I think that we'll benefit from that in some way. I think Perry's going to use that board for our band that we just got back together a couple of weeks ago.
Good. I told him I'd throw in a few patch cables and maybe a mic cord or two. So maybe that'll help y'all out. All right, let's move on. Well, let's see. It's been about that long. I'll do a real quick one. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net here on the N5OAK and Associated Systems. And next up on the list was one of the trivia kings, Scott, KI5OVD. Scott, what's happening?
Hey, Sammy. Not a whole lot. Thanks for running the net. It's great to hear you again. But I should have probably should have checked in no traffic. I got nothing but complaints this week, so I won't bore y'all with that. Biggest one is I got to start going back into the office next week. It's been I'll still get to work from home, just not every day like it's been for the last 25 months. I've gotten used to this, but I need to get out of this chair every once in a while. So it's probably a good thing. But every time they try to do this, another variant comes along, and Austin goes back to stage 4, and they send us home again. So who knows? Yeah, I'm off to work Monday morning. So, but looking forward to Trivia Net tomorrow night. And howdy everybody, and thanks for running the net. Back to net control. KI5OVD.
You can complain. I just don't throw it in there. I don't throw the word complain in there, but you can, and that is a drag. Having to go back, especially when you get used to it. It's kind of like almost like me doing a net. I haven't done it. The last net I did was November 18th, so tell you how long ago it was. And my pipes are still not fully open yet. I'm trying, man. I'll get down here like this and get it going, but we'll look for you tomorrow night on the trivia net. All right, anybody got, and I hope, Scott, I hope that if he does any music categories, I hope they actually have songs in them this time. So you can pass that along to Rusty too, if you care to. All right, anybody got anything for Scott this evening? If you do, bring me a call sign. All righty, well, thank you, Scott, for dropping by. And you can come by and complain anytime, man. Or you can do anything, whatever you want to do. All right, let's go to our next precipitate. And that would be Ron out in Driftwood. W5GCH. Ron, what repeater were you on earlier? Are you still on the same one?
Well, good evening there, Sammy. This is Ron out here, and I was having a brain fade at the moment when I was saying that, and I was transmitting on the 147250 repeater. And so, since you said it was scratchy, I am now on the 441775 repeater, and hopefully that's coming in a little clearer for you. And it's good to hear that both those repeaters are working a lot better now, and I actually receive them both very clearly here. But apparently, my power here doesn't quite hit the Henley repeater out there quite as strong as it does there in Austin. So anyway, it's good to hear you on the net again tonight, and you're sounding good as usual, and hope things are going better for your wife there, and just kicking around down here in Driftwood. Take a pause here. And haven't been doing a whole lot of radio. Did some 10-meter and 40-meter stuff with some local hams on Tuesday evening, and got through to one person on 10 meters and then 3 others on 40 meters locally, and one other person on 40 meters didn't come through, so I don't know what the problem was there, but but it was about as expected. So anyway, that's about what I've been up to. W5GCH, back to net control.
Sounds like you're just keeping on, and that's always good. Yeah, I was going to give a little update on Leslie. She's supposedly, they're taking her trach thing out tomorrow. She has been eating. Yesterday they were having to mix all that that stuff in her Coca-Cola that makes it real thick. And today they're just letting her drink straight stuff. So she's getting around there. Don't know what's going to happen next, but she's about ready to get out of that place. So thanks for asking. Anybody out there got anything for Ron this evening? If you do, bring me a call sign now. All right, Ron. Well, thanks for joining us, man. And you sound much better. And we're still having some weird issues with the 250, but yesterday somebody called in and told me they were like 15 miles west of Johnson City, and they were just blowing in there. They were full quiet, so I'm not sure, but there is an issue going on with the duplexer. And I talked to George today, and he said, I'm thinking about just getting away with the duplexer and just putting up 2 antennas. And he's got the room to do it, so that might happen. All right, thanks, Ron, for dropping by. Next on the list was Garrett, KG5KBJ. He had no traffic. So next up on the list is KI5 Uniform X-Ray Golf. Travis, welcome, and how's it going?
Doing well. Yeah, just wanted to quickly introduce myself. New to the area the last few months and just took my technician test last week, so just got my call sign, which is pretty exciting, and actually down here pretty close to the Oak Repeater, the flagship, so here in South Austin, and yeah, getting a new Jeep here pretty soon, so I'm sure I'll have a lot of questions for you guys on mobile setups and things like that, but that's all I had, and yeah, AI5UXG.
That's a big old steaming bowl of fine business, and welcome. And tell us, if you don't mind, how did you get into radio? Would you listen to us like on Broadcastify or maybe YouTube or a scanner or something like that? But if you've been listening to us for a while, tell us that story if you would.
Yeah, so I kind of got into it. Actually, I'm from Dallas, so over the pandemic was, up in my apartment, just kind of looking for things to connect to people with while we couldn't see each other, and kind of got into it that way. So yeah, I've been kind of listening here and there over the past few months to the club, and like I said, finally got around to getting my studying done and getting on the test.
That's a good deal. Well, I'm from Fort Worth myself, so I've been down here about 10 years, maybe longer now. But welcome. Let's see if anybody out there wants anything for Travis. If you do, bring me a call sign now.
KVJ.
Go ahead.
Hey, welcome to the Austin area. I'm just kind of curious what brought you down here from Dallas. KG5 KVJ.
Yeah, work of course in the software business, so big hub obviously for the industry, and yeah, that's what brought me down here.
Roger that. Welcome to Austin. KG5 KVJ back to net.
Thank you, Garrett. Anybody else got anything for Travis?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, sir.
Hey, Travis. Name here's Ray. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the area, man. Glad to have you. Congrats on your new call. See that you just got it in April. That's pretty sweet. Or this month. So, congratulations. Glad to have you, man. And you are south of the river in the shadow of the repeater, so that means you should be able to hear us pretty well on Tuesday nights. So check us out on simplex on 146.555 on Tuesday nights. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, thanks for the welcome. Appreciate it, and definitely we'll check that out. KI5UXG.
Check it out, man. We got KI5UPG, UPH, UKF, all on the same night. That's pretty good. Well, welcome to all of you. All right, anybody else got anything else for Travis? All right, thanks, Travis. Thanks for getting on with us. Welcome anytime. Next up on the list was KI5KXH, and that's Mike, and he had no traffic. And next we're going back to Jeffrey, KI5, most venerable Fox. Jeffrey, what's happening?
Not a whole lot, Sammy. Doing some arts and crafts with Ashley. We're painting some coffee mugs for Emily's birthday. We're heading out to New Braunfels this weekend to celebrate here with some friends. But radio-wise, not a whole lot going on. Just been trying to get on the repeater more often during the day and more days, especially in that Slacker chat around 3 o'clock, which sounds like you've been in a lot too. I feel like I've heard you mobile more in the last 2 weeks than I ever have. But that's all that I've got. KI5 and VF. Back to net.
Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff I'm having to do, but they did a lot of work on me today at my wound care, so I won't be going back there for a week or so. But, sometimes I come out here in the shed, too. I'm still packing and getting stuff boxed up and all that kind of stuff. Are y'all getting in the water when you go down there to New Brunswick?
It's a strong chance. Ashley and I have a campsite that'll be right on the river, and then I think Emily and Brandon have a cabin that's going to be right on the river. The only thing is that'll slow us down is probably the weather. I think it's going to be gloomy and rainy for most of the weekend. It's advertised at least. But that might not stop us, or it might be sunny and we might get in anyways. But it is definitely being discussed, and I'm definitely packing my swimming trunks. Either way.
Oh, well, I was going to remind you, don't go commando.
I get sunburns real easy down there, Sammy, so I got to be careful when I can.
Oh, down there. All right. Anybody got anything for Jeffrey this evening?
K5BZI.
Go ahead, sir.
Man, I wouldn't even pack my swim trunks. This time of year, that water is cold, dude. It doesn't get bearable till like June. But if you get in the water, man, I want pics.
Yeah, the water all around here stays colder than it should be. You ever been down to the Frio River? Love going camping out there. I used to live out that way.
Yeah, KC5IHO and I did a Parks on the Air activation at Garner State Park one time and barely got in. I mean, man, we had reservations and still you got to wait in line when you check into that place. That is a difficult park to get into, but man, it sure is nice out there. But yeah, I've got a good friend of mine. His wife's birthday is next week, and last year he reached out to me to see if I would be interested in going on a river float for his wife's birthday, and I was like, nope. Count me out, dude. I'll drive, but I'm not getting in that water in April. Ain't no way.
Yeah, I will say it's a little bit early for tubing season. It's a little bit too much time spent in the water, and half in the water and half not in the water. Looking forward to tubing maybe July or August, so but I'm going to stay warm, and I think Ashley's going to bring the kayak down, so we might find our way onto the water without getting in the water, as long as she doesn't splash me.
Don't you spend half your time in the water when you're kayaking anyway? Isn't that kind of part of the deal?
Oh, I have a story for you. I'll tell you at a later time. But no, I prefer to stay in the kayak and dry.
All right, man. Well, have fun. Back to net.
All right. Anybody else got anything for Jeffrey before we move on?
N5TAR, looking for a radio check.
Did you say N5TAR?
That is correct, N5TAR. On BK.
Ray, N5TAR is looking for a radio check.
Yeah, it sounds great down here. South Austin. Coming in through the repeater nice and clean.
Well, thank you very much. Name's Dave, and I'll be on the net later. You guys have a great night.
Righty, Dave. Well, we're in the middle of the first round of regular check-in, so we're going to take some more here in a little bit. Next up, it's the dreaded ID time. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net here on the N5A and Associated Systems. Next up, Ray, there's a recheck, It's KI5UKF. That's Steve. Steve, you still with us?
Yeah, net control, I'm still here.
Go ahead, sir. Tell us what's happening. You going to tell us how you got your ticket and how long you've been listening to us and all that good stuff?
You got it, Ray. Been licensed about 2 whole weeks. Had the rubber duck antenna on my little Yaesu fairly inexpensive rig. And just got my Ed Fong antenna, if you guys have ever heard of him, out in California, J-pole tonight. And what a difference that's made. It's really been amazing to be able to hear and speak with clarity for once. Struggled even hitting the, I'm in Dripping Springs, kind of on the east side. Really struggled hitting the Oak Hill repeater and being heard. I could hear okay, but I couldn't be heard very well. So really enjoying the clarity tonight and the camaraderie. And do want to say just a happy San Jacinto Day to everybody out there. I think as Texans we should all celebrate that and enjoy that history. And that's about it. Over.
So, have you tried with your new Ed Fong antenna? If you want to, you can talk about that. A lot of people know what they are. Have you tried the 147.250? It's our repeater out there. It's located not very far from Johnson City, but it's not actually in Johnson City. It's east of there. It's down Pedernales Falls State Park is where it's supposed to. And it's the same tone and everything, except it's 147.250. Have you tried that with your new antenna?
Net control, I have not tried that yet. I literally just pulled it out of the mailbox just before this net started, unwrapped it, took it outside and hung it up on one of my deck poles for a little while, and now it's draped over the back of my couch inside. So I haven't done much testing with anything else, but it's working really well. Even though it's a vertical antenna, it's working pretty well just laying on the back of the couch.
It's a tad noisy, but we're getting everything you say. But yeah, you ought to try the 147.250. It used to be even closer to Dripping Springs, but now it's a little further away. But when you get a chance to try it, let us know. And appreciate you coming. And I think you were talking about San Jacinto Day. Is that correct?
That's right, Nick. Today is San Jacinto Day, so as Texans, I think we should always celebrate that.
Yeah, I agree. The glorious battle of San Jacinto. And I talked to somebody about that earlier today. But yes, happy San Jacinto Day to all you real Texans. All right, anybody got anything for Steve out there?
K5BZI.
Hey, Ray.
Hey, I just wanted to welcome you, Steve. Man, welcome in, and congrats on the call and on the new Ed Fong. That's pretty great. Those antennas work really good for everybody, and I think you'll find if you switch over to the 250 machine, you're probably going to hit it really, really good from where you're at. There's a big old hill between Dripping Springs and us that gives a little bit of a headache for you Dripping Spring guys. There was something else I was going to tell you, and I can't remember what it was. But anyway, welcome, man. It's good to hear you, and thanks for rechecking. KF5UKF, K5BZI.
Thank you, BZI, and back over to Net Control.
Hi, Steve. Well, welcome to the madness. All right, next up is Reverend Ray, K5BZI. Ray, what's on your mind?
Well, so for those of you who don't know, I'm restoring a 1950 Plymouth that would belong to my great-grandmother, and so I've been making a lot of progress on the car the last couple of weeks. Set up a work table in my front yard, and I've been cleaning parts and primering them with the anticipation of doing some painting this weekend. And I learned a very valuable lesson this last Sunday as I was welding in new floor panels while wearing shorts. it turns out that welding will give you a really nice sunburn. I should have known that. It kind of makes sense, UV rays coming off the weld there, but I got a really nice big red mark on my left leg from sitting on the floorboard in shorts and trying to weld in new floor panels. So, mental note, if you ever do any welding, don't wear shorts or short sleeves, because it'll give you a nice good red sunburn. But other than that, I think that's about all I've got. I haven't done a whole lot of radio work. Looks like you guys keep your eye on the VHF, UHF propagation map, because early in the day, last few days, we've gotten some pretty decent VH, UHF propagation. My APRS beacon has been picking up stations all the way into New Mexico the last couple of days, so keep an eye on that. So that might be fun for 146520. And see, I guess that's about it. Back to net control, K5BZI.
Yeah, I've got a nasty UV burn one time in my eyes. I was working on a 480-volt service panel, and somebody threw some metal BX cable over a wall, and it went across all three legs of that panel while I was working on it, and burnt my eyes in just a flash, you know. So I could imagine what doing some bright welding and in shorts, you'd probably have a pretty good mark. That'd leave a good mark. All right, anybody got anything for Ray out there this evening? If you do, bring me a call sign now.
W5GCH.
There's two of you. GCH, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say, Ray, back in the 1980s, I did the same thing while I was welding. I had very light clothes on, and sunburn essentially went through my T-shirt, and I just got my arms burnt, and I learned there to cover up completely when welding. So learned a lesson there. Anyway, W5GCH, back to Connect Control here.
There's a second station there trying to reach Ray. Go ahead.
AI5A Jeffrey here. Ray, I was just two questions for you. One, is that the big giant stick welder we pulled out from Mike Hughes' place that you're using to do those floor pans? And then my second question was, I thought about this the other day. Whatever happened to light up 2 meters? Did that happen and I just missed it, or is that still in the works?
So I'm glad you asked. I brought that up a couple weeks back, and nothing has happened yet. Like I say, I've been pretty busy, pretty much every day, every other day working on the car, so I haven't been active in making that happen. This weekend is probably going to be, I'm going to get some stuff painted, and then I'll probably not, it'll get a little warm, and I'll be not working on it all that much, so if no one else takes the lead on that, I'll make it happen here in the next few weeks. The answer to your other question is yes. I was using the cracker box I got from KG5GYM, and it was too hot. So I was burning right through the floor pan, and I kept trying to make it work, and I thought I was making progress, but then I hit it with the grinder and realized that everything was just burning through. So I've got a friend that has a little MIG welder, and I went over and borrowed it from him, picked it up today, so hopefully I'll get that project done tomorrow afternoon. But in the meantime, I should have known. It's like the next morning when I woke up with that sunburn, it was like, duh. I mean, that seems like something I should have known by now, but, live and learn is what it is. Over to you, Jeffrey.
Great. Well, I'm definitely interested in the light up 2 meters. Glad I didn't miss it. No rush at all, but I'd love to participate, even if it's just taking the van and driving out somewhere east. I have more questions about it, but we can chat about that on Discord more, especially so that other people can see and reference it later. And then, I was wondering if that like you said, cracker box of a repeater, or cracker box of a welder will be able to do floor pans. So I'm glad you got somebody with a MIG handy though, because it sounds a lot easier. Not well experienced with welding myself, but glad you at least getting it figured out. KI5A, back to net.
Yeah, I should add that it has come in handy for a couple of other parts that I had a couple of rotors that had some broken welds on them that I've been able to fix with that welder. It works great. So that's been satisfying to be able to actually fix a couple things. And so I thought I had a feeling it might be a little too hot for those floor pans, and it turned out to be the case. But that's kind of, I'm learning as I go with this car, and we'll get her done one of these days. So yeah, thanks for asking. Back to net control, K5BZI.
Well, I guess it's better than just, overlapping the floorboard with tinfoil and then covering it up with carpet. So, we're all looking forward to whenever you get that project done. Cruise around in a plymouth. All right, anybody else got anything for Ray before we move on?
NAG.
KC5NAG, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's KC3 NAG, Sammy. Anyway, hey Ray, you should have called me, man. Like, I used to do structural steel welding, had a portable welding business, fixing crap on commercial fishing boats in the Chesapeake Bay, and anyway, I could only assume, given the circumstances that you described, you probably had your dark sunglasses on too, right? The ones with the mirror on the front, thinking that the light rays would flash back off and you wouldn't have to buy a helmet. Tell me that's not true. KC3NAG, back to you, Ray.
I've noticed all week it seems kind of overcast. It doesn't seem to get quite as bright as it used to. No, I'm kidding. I have a real helmet. I actually did go buy a real face shield with the auto flash and all that. But I did want to bring up, since Sammy mentioned it, what's interesting about this car, is my great grandmother bought it in December of 1950, and I've got the original title and everything. But it's and the floor pans have been kind of rotted out for a while, and it's been actually patched a couple of times, and the patches that they used were old metal paint cans. There were 2 patches done on that floor, and they were screwed in with flathead screws, and they were old metal paint cans that were rolled out flat and flathead screwed into the floorboard, so that's pretty interesting. But anyway, I did not know that you had that experience, Randy, and I will definitely be pinging you for your and picking your brain as this project moves on. Thanks for letting me know that. Appreciate that.
All right, Ray. Talk to you later. KC3NAG, back to net.
We'll look for you, Randy, on this next round of regular check-ins. And if I said KC5, I apologize. We'll let you have your 3 land fun. All right, anybody else got anything for Ray before we move on?
KI5UPG. I wasn't on this net earlier, and I'm sorry if I'm checking in at the wrong time here. I'm kind of new to this. But yeah, I'm here.
Here you can make a comment to Ray or ask him a question or anything else along with what he was talking about or anything else you want to bring up to him. And feel free, man. Don't be shy. And I think I got your name is Andrew. Is that correct?
Negative. No, I actually wasn't on this net earlier. The call sign is Kilo India 5 Uniform Papa Golf.
Hey, Sammy?
Yeah, I got him down here. It's my third check-in. Go ahead.
Hey, Sammy. KI5, Andrew is Kilo India 5 Uniform Tango Golf. He just joined us on Discord video. And KI5UPG, welcome to the net.
All right, let me get it straight. So, is it... Don't confuse me, Ray. Are we talking to KI5 Uniform Papa Golf right now?
We are, in fact, talking to Uniform Papa Golf. The guy that checked in short time earlier was Uniform Tango Golf. That's Andrew. Uniform Tango Golf is Andrew. He just joined us on video. We've got a new one here, Uniform Papa Golf.
There's where I messed up. See, I wrote down Uniform Papa Golf on the first one, and it was Uniform Tango Golf, and that is Andrew. So, Uniform Papa Golf, give me a name to go with that call sign.
The name over here is Michael. Mike, India, Charlie, Hotel, Alpha, Echo, Lima.
Hey, Michael, I got you in there now. I got it all straightened out. And that's you call, the KI5 you call we've had tonight. And if you got anything for Ray, you could ask him or talk to him or anything else. And if you don't, we'll to you.
I do not, but thank you for the opportunity.
To check in so we can get you on the log. And that makes what, our fourth KI5U call tonight, Ray?
Yep, that's at least our fourth, yep. And glad to have you. So stick around, Michael. We'll check in with you here in a minute.
All right. Very cool. 4 new guys that just got licensed on here tonight. It always warms our hearts. All right. It's time for the second round of regular check-ins. And I've already entered KC3NAG Randy for the top of that list. And I've got Michael KI5UPG. We'll check with him, see if he's got any traffic. So anybody else want to check in on the second round of regular check-ins? If you do, bring me a call sign now.
Kilo 5 Tango Radio.
All right, George, got you in there. There was a double with you, that station doubling with George. Bring me that call sign now.
This is
been me, WB5TXW.
Got second George, WB5TXW, and then there was another station trying to get in there. Other station, go ahead.
This is AG5SJ, third time's the charm, no traffic.
Michael, you can't come on here with no traffic, man. I'll write it down that way, but I'm still going to call on you. Haven't talked to you in so long. All right, anybody else want to check in on this second round of regular check-ins? If you do, bring me a call sign now.
This is Kilo India 5, Kilo Sierra Romeo, no traffic.
KSR, no traffic, got you in there. All right, anybody else want to get in on this second round of regular check-ins? All right, I'm going to check one more time before I do another ID. Anybody else want to get in on this second round of regular check-ins? righty, with that, let me do our ID here. You are listening and participating in the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net, a service of the N5OAK repeater system, along with several others, which all can be found on n5oak.org. And we come to you every Thursday night, rain, storm, or shine, sometimes on, sometimes off, sometimes mostly on time. So, feel free to join us. It doesn't matter what topic you want to talk about. It could be about radio. It could be about restoring Plymouth cars. It could be how you stump your toe on your sister's patio. It doesn't matter. If you want to share barbecue recipes or how to make a beer chicken without burning it up, you could bring it here. So we'll check again before we leave, but let's get started with this second round. And I'm glad to hear KC3NAG on the frequency. Go ahead, Randy.
Well, thank you, Sammy. Since you brought up like restoring art, I used to sandcast and mold life-size and larger bronze sculpture, and built all the metal, poured in. I worked at this cool educational place that had a big bronze and cast iron foundry into it. Yeah, a lot of fun. But hey, for all you HF fans out there, 40 meters. I ran across this guy last night on 7.181 from Germany at about 10:15 in the evening. And he was on for like an hour or so. And evidently he's on quite often, much like Roberto is. Let me give it a break. For any of you HF, 40 meters phone aficionados, there's something to go look for. I spent an hour trying to get into this guy, but kept getting swamped with, KW stations. But that's okay, cool. Anyway, I've been looking into getting on 80 meters Sammy yachts. Looking at like an end-fed, but I do not want a tuner because I don't want to put the money into it. I would build one, but the capacitor, big variable air capacitors, are just like half the price of what it costs to buy a tuner. So it's like, yeah. Anyway, so I'm looking at 80 meters, Sammy. Yeah, I'm working on it, man. Anyway, hey, good luck with your car, Ray. Call me sometime. KC3NAG, back to net control.
Well, I have you know that Reverend Ray came over and restored one leg of my 40-meter double bazooka. And I spent a lot of time today trying to tune that booger. And I didn't get a very good tune on it. I don't know what's wrong. But I need to do some more work. We might have pulled it too tight or something. I may have to go up there and do something else. But it is back tied off to the pole where I could use it. And I did talk to some folks on 40 today on the audio group on 7.235, and Charlie over at K5WOW, he heard me pretty well, but the guy up in Arkansas, he did not hear me at all. So, something's going on with that antenna, but it is up. Just to let you know. And I'm glad you finally got through to that guy that you were after. And it's good to have you on the net. Good to hear you. All right, anybody got any questions, comments, complaints, observations, or anything else for Randy, KC3NAG? Bring them now.
K5BZI in the complaint department.
Go ahead, young man.
I'm just kidding. Hey, Randy, do you have my phone number? Because I've got a big old air cap that's collecting dust on a shelf over here that you can have if you're interested.
How about I send you email on QRZ and go from there?
That works. Yeah, shoot me an email and I'll dig it out and take a picture and send it to you and see if it's something you can use.
Okay, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I inherited a bunch of stuff from a Silent Key a few years back, and I sold a bunch of it at Belton a couple years ago, or not a couple. It was last fall. But I know for a fact I still got one big air cap hanging around. So yeah, shoot me an email, man.
Okay, thank you, Ray. Back to net.
And I gave away a bunch not too long ago, but none of them. Well, they were pretty much mid-size, but they were all NOS and made in America. But I don't know if it would do a tuner. It'd have to be a small frame tuner, but I could tell you where they're residing now. If you want to play with them. All right, anybody else got anything for Randy before we move on? Once again, thank you for dropping by. And anything like that you could gleam on us.
No, I honestly, so I learned about this particular net from, I think it's N5 or AD or something like that. I forget the call sign off the top of my head. But I was talking on a 440 megahertz, like, 70 centimeter band repeater locally to me, and I learned about the net through talking to that guy, because he said, oh yeah, you should go check out the N5OAK.org domain, and then I saw the references on the calendar there. So I was like, oh, that sounds like fun, so I think I'll go look at that. Oh, and I just got the call sign pulled up. I was talking to Kilo Alpha 5 Delta, and he was telling me about a few of the different, places I can go to find information about actually alive repeaters and stuff. But no, I actually got involved in all of this because I was really interested in digital mode, like WinLink and VAR FM, VAR HF, that type of stuff. So that's how I kind of got involved with this.
Good deal. Yeah, Kyle's our buddy. In fact, every net we connect to his system, and you're probably on that same repeater that you talked to him on, the 441.325, and a couple more he's connected to. But like I said before, you can look on you can also look at KA5D.com, I think it is, and see where all he's connected. And yeah, Kyle's a buddy of ours, so I'm glad you stumbled across that. And I'm glad you came tonight. Anybody got anything for Michael before we move on?
K5BZI.
Word ahead.
I just want to say welcome, Michael, man. Glad to have you. You sounded great. What's your QTH? Where are you located?
I'm about a mile and a half, 2 miles north of the domain. I think it's the 441.325 repeater that KA5E runs is like the closest repeater to me, which is why I was using that. Yeah, about a mile and a half north of the domain.
All right, man. Well, you're sounding good, and just to you and all you other class of April 2022 KI5U group guys, be sure to go to the website n5oak.org and click the sign up button. Our club is free. We do accept donations, but it's free to sign up, and we'd love to have you on the list. So there's a join the club button on the website, so go check it out at n5oak.org.
And check out Discord while you're there. Good information there, Ray. All right, anybody else got anything for Michael before we move on? I'm sure glad you joined us. And the rest of you, class of April. All you KI5Us. All right, it's top of the hour. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net here on the N5OAK and Associated Systems, which can be found at n5oak.org. Next up on our list is George, K5TR. He hosts one of our VHF repeaters out near Johnson City, and he was over here today. George, what's happening?
K5TXR in the net, K5TR. Oh, sitting here trying to get a keyer to work with a computer on Linux and various other things. I was going to comment on Ray's talking about the VHF propagation. He said 5.2, but also on if you can do sideband or CW or FT8 on those bands of 50 megahertz. That tropo stuff works up there too. So check the propagation map. There was a report from K5LLL, who lives out near Bastrop. He was here in the Fort Stockton 900 megahertz beacon this morning. And I think he was also here in a 432 beacon out of, I can't remember where the guy lives. I think San Angelo, maybe Abilene, somewhere over there. So the band was definitely open to the west, so that's good stuff. I went on a little trip, a vacation a couple of weeks ago, and did my first POTA activation on CW, and I don't know, that's about it on the ham radio front lately. N5TXR in the net, K5TR.
Well, that's some good stuff. I love that repeater system over there in New Mexico. And for those of y'all that have heard me talk about bug catcher antenna, that's about 7 foot tall and probably weighs 30 pounds. That's got another home now. George bought that from me today, so I'm going to like to see what he's going to put it on. But it's a massive antenna, and it works really well. All right, anybody got any questions, comments, complaints, or anything else for George this evening? K5TR, George. Bring me a call sign now. You'll also be glad to hear that those fold-over Hustler antennas that I bugged everybody about trying to get, George got all those too, so he made a pretty good sweep today. And thanks again for that, George. And good to hear you on the net. All right, next is closer in, George. WB5TXW. Let's see if he's still there. George, are you with us?
Oh my God, you woke me up. Well, hello Sammy and all around the net from WB5TXW. I hope everybody's doing well. And that's it. No complaints, no habla, no nada. WB5TXW back to net.
Did you hear me on the 3916 Trivia Net last night?
Affirmative. Did you hear me on one of the local repeaters trying to coach you?
I turn all that down, but you know, he always skips a question. Oh, I'm not gonna give you that one because he couldn't pronounce the guy's name or whatever. But if he wouldn't have got to that one question about the Olympics and where it was held in whatever year that was, I never even remember St. Louis hosting an Olympic Games, but I guess it did. I would have got it, but close but no but no hand grenade. But anyway, a W5MIX had recorded that, so I was able to go back and listen to it. And he says that radio sounds good. I don't know. Sounds a little thin to me. All right, anybody got anything for George out there this evening, WB5TXW? If you do, bring me a call sign.
One more comment, Sammy.
Go ahead, sir.
Pete can barely speak English. Don't expect him to pronounce foreign names properly. And that's just the way it is. If you had been listening to the local repeater, you might have gotten that one right. But oh well. We're not supposed to cheat on trivia, are we? Why not? WB5TXW back to net.
Well, we can't all be like some of them guys up there in Oklahoma. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by. Next up, we had Micah, AG5SJ. He said no traffic, but I'm going to check. Micah, is that true? You have no traffic?
AG5SJ. Well, I mean, I have no traffic, but I'm still sitting here in the shack waiting for this stupid maintenance window to finish. So I'm still here just enjoying the banter.
All right, man. Well, it's good to hear you on. And like I was telling people earlier, it's the first time since November 18th that I've done the net, so I'm glad you stopped by. All right, next is KI5KSR, Steve, and he said no traffic. Is that true, Steve? So, I guess it was. All right, let me see if anybody else wants to check in on this late round of check-ins, regular check-ins for the net this evening. If you do, bring me a call sign name now.
This is AC5G Alpha Charlie 5 Golf Phillips.
Yeah, Philip, I got you in earlier, so you want to do a recheck? What do you want, Echo Link or something?
To let everyone know I've got my VE certification from ARRL, so I'm looking for some VE teams in the area. If anyone knows, feel free to contact me on Discord and point me in the right direction if anyone's looking for someone. And other than that, good to hear you back on the net, Sammy. AC5G, back to net.
I cut off the very start of that, Philip. I got the part about getting your VE certification. But what were you looking for? And have you talked to, I'll get the call sign in a minute. There is a couple guys that I know that are VEs. I'll get those call signs for you here in a minute. But I cut off the very part of your statement there, so can you give us that part again?
Oh, I was just mentioning I was a short-term check-in earlier. Had some kids I had to put to bed, but finally got them to sleep. So just joining back in to jump back onto the net and chat with everyone.
That's when I doubled with you right then. After you said that.
I think that was about all my traffic. Just like I said, looking for some local VE teams in the area. So I'm on the Discord. So if anyone wants to send me a message on there, I can pass on my contact info for any VE teams that are looking for examiners or alternates even. Let me know. I'm happy to return the service back to ham radio.
Well, my first suggestion would be get on the 9-4 system and call up Roy, WA5YZD, WA5 Yankee Z Dog, YZD. He is just about every session I've seen around in Austin, he's part of it. And the only other VE I know is K5NM. And I think we have a couple more, I just can't recall them off the top of my head. But if you get on the 9-4 and ask for WA5YZD, he will fill you in.
Sounds good. I'll definitely look into that. And yeah, there wasn't too much information on ARRL and everything in Austin that I did seem to find. Looks like it's still kind of shut down for COVID. They're just doing kind of online exam stuff. All right, AC5G, back to net. Thanks.
All right, Phil. Appreciate it. All right, anybody else want to check in before we shut her down? All righty, well, I want to thank everybody for coming by. And I'm going to turn it over to Ray here in a minute. He's going to give you a rundown of all the activity on the system. But I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want to thank all y'all that supported me over these last few months. And some of you financial, some of you with your hearts and minds and souls, and I really appreciate it. And I'm getting back to almost normal. So I appreciate anybody that ever threw a thought out there for me and helped me get through all this, because it's really appreciated. And to let you know that most anything you want to find out about the club or the system, you can find on n5oak.org. And let me do I'll do another ID so Ray won't have to. You're listening to the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday Night Net. And we come to you every Thursday night on the N5OAK and Associated Systems. So thank you, everyone, especially all those that were thinking about me in that period. I really appreciate it. And some of y'all, you know who you are. You know I love you. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Ray, and he's going to give you a rundown.
We had one check-in maybe coming up, double with you at the very beginning of that last transmission. You want to open it up for that?
Sir, was there another station wanted to get in there?
Yeah, this is KI5BAT, Bob. I haven't been on this probably about as long as you, Sammy, but I have no reason like you did. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I heard you on, and I've talked to you before when you were on, and I'm up here in Round Rock, and I just thought I'd say hi. That's about all I got to say.
Oh, Bob. Yeah, man, with that Batman call, you could drop by any time. And I'm glad you picked tonight. And thank you. And, you know we're here every Thursday night, Bob.
Yep, I know. Actually, I've got upgraded to General since I talked to you last about a month ago, so maybe I'll be on more now. Okay, thanks for letting me get in here. KI5BAT will be clear.
Congrats on the upgrade. We'll listen for you on usually 40 in a day and 80 at night. I always say 80, but it's just easier than saying 75. But we'll look for you, and congratulations. Anybody got anything for Bob before we move on?
Hey, congratulations, Bob. KC3, NAG.
Thanks, Randy.
All right. Well, thanks for coming by there, Bob. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Ray and let him give you a little short list of all the stuff going on the system. Go ahead, Reverend Ray.
Thank you, Sammy. And short list, wow. Okay. Yeah, no, not in this club. We're a busy club, so it's a long list, and here we go. This is Ray, K5DZI in South Austin, Texas, and I'll start the week off on a Sunday. Sunday, the Austin Amateur Radio Club has a 10-meter net. It starts at 3 p.m. 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a Sunday. The frequency is 28.410 upper sideband. 28.410, that's the Austin Amateur Radio Club's 10-meter net, and you just might find Rod over there if you tune in. Monday nights, the N5OAK Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club hosts a 6-meter net. The 6-meter net starts at 50.125 sideband, and it starts at 8 p.m. And from there, no telling where it might go. It's an experimental net, a good opportunity to exercise the 6-meter side of your radio and see what you can do. It's been known to branch off into CW, even SSTV. So join Alpha India 5 Alpha Rick and the guys on Monday nights at 50.125 on the 6-meter net at 8 p.m. Every Tuesday night, of course, is the Southside Simplex net. That starts at 8 p.m. as well. It's a FM Simplex, and it's at 146.555. 146.555. We call it Southside Simplex because it started off as a bunch of Southies, but even our good friend Sean out in Smithville has been known to check in. So if you've got a Yagi and a little bit of power, doesn't really matter too far out where are you that you might be able to get in, especially these days with the way propagation's been. So definitely check us out on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. for the FM Simplex net at 146.555. I need to write this down. Rusty, if you're still with us, there is a DMR net that happens as well, and I'm going to write it down right now if he's still there. If you're here, Rusty, help me out here, man. Give me the details on that one. Can anybody help with the sound check net that happens at 7:30 on Tuesdays? All right, well, I'll follow up with Rusty on it, but the rough details are at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday nights there is a DMR sound check, and you can check out our DMR machine at 441.300 if you can hit it. It's located up off of North, Burnett, and Anderson, so be sure to try to check that out if you're into DMR. 441.300 sound check net on Tuesday nights at 7:30. Wednesday night, the UT Amateur Radio Club has their net at 8 p.m., and it is connected. Our Oak repeaters are connected to that network. 8 p.m., the UT Amateur Radio Club, hosted officially by the KA5D system, and you can find those frequencies at ka5d.com, but you can also hear it here on the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club system. So be sure to support the growing, especially in enthusiasm and membership club over there at the UT campus on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. For the UT Amateur Radio Club net. Thursday nights at 7:30, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club CW net. Pat, W5WTH, and the guys have a good time doing CW on or about 3532 on the 75-centimeter dial. And any and all skill sets are welcome. I myself am terrible at CW, and they even let me check in. So, guys, go check out the CW net on Thursday nights at 7:30 p.m., right before this net on 3532. By the way, even a technician class licensee, you can transmit CW on that frequency, so go check them out. All licensed classes are privileged to join in on the CW net. That's why they put it where they did. And then, of course, at 8 p.m. is this net, the Oak Hill Amateur Radio Club Thursday night net, every Thursday night for years and years now at 8 p.m. And we any and all licensed amateur radio operators are encouraged to attend. And we've had a bunch of newbies tonight, and we appreciate that. Always good to hear from the new guys. And then, of course, Friday night is famous Friday night trivia. That happens at 9 p.m. every Friday. It is an online game. You can go to our website at n5oak.org and click on the TriviaNet tab, which will take you to WZ5BBS website, where there's a big green button where you can join the game. The game is hosted audibly on the net, or on the Oak system. I cannot verify nor deny that it is in fact connected to the KA5D system on Friday nights. It used to be, it probably still is. So if you can't get to one of the Oak repeaters, you may be able to hear the hosting, the audible hosting of the TriviaNet through the KA5D system. But even if you can't get into a radio on Friday nights, you can play along with the game just through your web browser. There's nothing to download. It is a free game, and it's a lot of fun, and there's a little bingo thing that starts at 8 o'clock, which is a lot of fun, and then the actual trivia game starts at 9, and you can play along. I've done it while sitting at a really noisy bar and just did it on my phone while hanging out. So you don't even have to be near a radio if you can't be. And if you want to play trivia on Friday nights, it's a lot of fun, and Rusty does a bang-up job of hosting it. So check us out on Friday nights for trivia. And that leaves Saturday. Saturday, this club never stops. There's always fox hunt. There's always someone doing parks on the air, someone doing summits on the air. And you can find out more about that by joining us on Discord. We have a Discord server, and you can join us if you haven't already by going to our website at n5oak.org, clicking on the big purple button on the left-hand side of pretty much any page, and that'll bring you into the request access page for Discord. Give it some time, and one of the admins will approve your request, and you'll have access to the full channel lineup, and there's lots of them, guys. We have channels for summits on the air, parks on the air, SSTV operations, knowledge base, all kinds of things. It's a great wealth of information, so if you have not joined us on Discord, I highly recommend you do so. And that's where you can find out about all of the weekend activities that are going on. There's always someone doing a Parks on the Air or a Summits on the Air or a Fox Hunt or you name it. There's something going on. So come join us on Discord. You can find out more about that. And that's your net and activity lineup, I should say, for the week. This is Ray, K5BZI in South Austin. I'll pass it back over to Sammy, N5TXR, and thank you, everybody, on the net for joining us tonight. 73.
Hi, Ray. Thank you. I used to take and smoke a cigarette while Ray did that, but I no longer smoke, so I was actually listening. So thank you for that rundown, Ray. It still gives me a break. Let me see if anybody else wants to check in on the very latest, no more taken regular check-ins. If you do, bring me a call sign, name now. Alrighty. Well, like I said before, we really appreciate everybody showing up. And want you to go look at the n5oak.org, and like Ray was saying, you can join the club there. You can donate there, but you don't have to. There's no dues to pay. And that's why the number is up around 420, which I said again, and nobody has seconded my 420. So please peruse the website regardless, and you can find out all the connections and everything else at any time by going to the website. You might see some good pictures there. No telling. Might get your friends and to look at it and think, hey, that looks pretty cool. I'd like to do that. So we keep approving it, adding stuff to it. So when y'all get a chance, go by and look at it. So we're going to call this one, and at 22:25, and return this system back over to regular amateur use. I appreciate it, and 7-3, everyone.
Great net, Sammy. 30, with the rechecks, 37 check-ins, and got to be a record on short-timers, man. I think we had like 18 short-timers.
I got 19 short timers.
Yeah, I was ballparking it, but yeah, that's right. Sounds about right.
I don't know, recheck, let's see, there was 1, 2, at least 3 rechecks, so whatever it is, minus 3.
37 minus 3.
Glad to have you back on running the net, Sammy. It was a great one. AI5MVF.
Well, it's pretty unusual to have all the new guys all at once like that. So UTG, UPH, UKF, UPJ, PG, and UKF, that's twice. Yeah, he did do a recheck. Well, there's a lot of them. UXG as well. So that's what, 5?
I remember when the KI5Ms were the freshmen. I guess we're, what would that make us this year? The sophomores? Feel old.
I remember when there was nothing but KG5s, and we've come a long way from there.
There was 5 of them. They must have all got their ticket in like the second week of April, or first week of April. I was hoping Mikey would show up, but I didn't know at the time that I was talking to him that I was going to do the net, but I guess he had. It's pretty late up there too, so. But he told me he sold his place and he paid cash for his new place and a little village up there near Albany and all that area up there. And I wrote it down somewhere. I can't find it now. Oh, here it is. Nisquayana, Nisquayuna. It's a little village he bought a house in.
Hey, Sammy, you doubled with somebody on your previous transmission, and it sounded like, A, they wanted to talk to you about your 420 comment, and B, it sounded just like then. Maybe you're still celebrating.
Okay. Well, another station, go ahead.
Hey, Sammy, this is KI5UXG. That might have been me. Just saying, I think I'm actually number 420 in the club, so maybe I should have wished everybody a happy 420, and hope Willie Nelson came down to everybody's chimney the other night.
We can look it up. We'll see who the 420 is. I might even be able to look it up somewhere on here, on this here World Wide Web. I don't know if I refreshed my list here lately, but yeah, it looks like it. KI5UXG is 420.
Good to hear.
Sammy, come tomorrow night, I'll vote for you as my favorite NAT controller if you'll vote for me as your favorite NAT controller.
It just canceled each other out, man. That's no good.
Sounds like some quid pro quo, AG5SJ.
Well, then maybe we all just need to vote Ray.
Yeah.
He don't want to win that because that way Rusty will be wanting him to do the net more.
I was going to do it tonight, but Sammy stole it from me.
You didn't put your name on the list.
I didn't want to be greedy.
Yeah, that calendar is currently looking pretty empty. When I looked at it earlier today, I might have to put my name on there for a couple of weeks. Out.
Put it on for next week, because I know for a fact I can't host next week.
No, last week allowed me to come do the net. I usually stay till 8 o'clock. That's where they run the visitors off. But her girlfriend was there, and they were doing her hair, and I asked her if I could please leave, and she said, yes, sir. And she's like a little chatterbox now, since she don't have the thing in her nose anymore, and she's able to drink Coke, and she's eating applesauce and pudding and barking orders.
That's really cool, Sammy. NAG.
Yeah, got to move her to a rehab place next week, I think, for a couple of weeks. And I'm going to try to get her hips done while I got her in the rehab place, but I don't know if it's going to come to fruition. But still packing up over here, but I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff. My stuff is dwindling. And I want to know, because I don't remember, I do remember, Ray, giving that or selling that CB radio to somebody. Because I remember I dug out, my dad used to use these 2-pin prong connectors for radios, and that CB had one on it, and I went and found a female so he could put it in his vehicle or whatever. I do remember, but I can't remember who it was and whether I gave it to him or I sold it to him. And I can't find the 1.2 gig little down east microwave amplifier.
Well, it wasn't me, because I don't remember that scenario at all. Have you asked Ernesto? Because, Ernesto's kind of into 11 meters, too.
He was over here a couple of days ago, and I sold him another one that I had. A $20 hot deal.
Speaking of hot deals, you got any 11 meter amplifiers over there that are more or less legal?
Just got one that's out at, I don't know if Chris ever brought that back. It was Chris's. Well, hell, I think he did bring it back. What the hell is it? It does ham bands. It does, I think it does anything from 5 meg to 30. But it says right on the side of it, not to use on 11 meter band.
Perfect.
And it's 100 watts. But I don't remember what in the world I did with it. I think it's here somewhere. I'll have to ask Chris.
Well, dig it out, man. You got a buyer for it.
Well, if he's already given it to me, I might have already sold it, but I don't remember doing that. But, man, I tell you, I'll have to ask him. He'll remember if he gave it back to me or not. I'm kind of thinking he might have, but I don't know. I don't know for sure. But yeah, it's a little. I got it. The year we set up at Summerfest, and we had that stuff on the junk on the table. I traded that at the end of the day to a guy that he wanted an MC60 mic or something, and I traded him a bunch of stuff for it, and that was one of the things. And Chris said it works like a champ. At least 100 watts out.
Yeah, I want it.
It's pretty too. It's all shiny.
Hey guys, I'm gonna call it a night, but I was gonna let you both know that I did sign up for next week. So I will see you then, but I'm gonna say good night for now. KI5MZF, I'll be clear on the finals.
Night, Jeffrey. K5BZI, thanks for signing up for net.
Appreciate it, Jeffrey. All that you do. Yeah, George came over and took a lot of that stuff that I've been trying to pawn off on people. He took all those Hustler fold-over mobile mounts and some other singers I had, mobile mount stuff, and he got that big old bug catcher, and he got the rotor that was up on the first tower that had the tail twister controller on. He bought all that stuff today.
That's cool.
But it just surprises me that I can't find some things that I'm looking for, and I really got no clue on where they're at. And I am shocked. Shocked, I say, that I can't find that 1.2 gigahertz amplifier, because I don't remember selling that at all. I don't remember anybody even asking about it.
Yeah, man, I have no idea.
Well, I'm going to have a lot of little short pieces of coax and some of it's at a half-inch FSJ4, half-inch hardline. A bunch of those pieces when I pull all this stuff out of the pass-through, which is coming up soon. Now, I've left that AC unit run on medium, but turned all the way up ever since you were here. And, for example, I went in there this morning and it was 66 degrees in there.
Oh, nice. That all AC is working good, huh?
Doing something. And I got that brand new one in there I haven't even put in yet. I can't figure out what to do now. But, man, it's so much better to go in there to make, just little old things like hot dogs or heat up something in a microwave or whatever. It's bearable. Now I got to do something with the damn little buggy. I don't know what in the hell to do.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. Is that bedroom door open? Is it keeping the bedroom cool too?
Keeping it bearable. It's not getting down as cold as it is in the kitchen, but it's helping. Yeah, I'm leaving it open. And I'm opening up the pass-through in the living room because I got the one thing in the living room and it's blowing one way, and that thing's blowing the other way. So those two rooms are as cool as I want them.
Oh, that's great, man. I'm glad it's working out for you. Yeah, I mean, sell that scooter and get your money back.
Well, it's got to work. I don't want to sell it if it ain't charging.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, sounds like a project.
I want to keep it, especially if we get to travel. If I can get Leslie's hips fixed, we're going on the road, man. I don't care. We're not gonna get a place. We're gonna go on the road for a while.
Oh, right on. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah, remember me talking about thinking about doing the state park tour. There's not too many of them, but the one you go out there at what's that place called? Blanco. The one out there by Blanco. That looks like a really good place to go.
Yeah, Blanco River State Park's awesome, man. I did a Parks on the Air activation there once, and it's pretty sweet.
And then there's some up in the northeast around some of the lakes up there that I wouldn't mind going to. Even that one over there that it's not a state park. It's over there above Houston that you went to not too long ago, where it's all woody. What's the name of that place?
Stephen F. Austin?
No, there's another place. That's up by Nacogdoches, isn't it?
Nah, Stephen F. Austin's on I-10 between Columbus and Houston.
Oh, this was above Houston, north of Houston, up there in the Piney Woods.
Oh, Mission Tejas. Yeah, that one's awesome.
Yeah, I wanted to join that, state park thing so I get the perks on it and, jump around a little bit, especially out of season. But this time of year, I want to take her up to Oregon and Washington, all that up in there.
Yeah, the Texas State Park membership is definitely worth it. You get a couple free nights, and it knocks down the cost. It's definitely worth it.
Well, that's the only thing that's keeping us from going is getting her hip surgery. If we get that done, we'll be going on the road, and at a very slow pace.
N5TAR breaking in.
N5TAR, go ahead.
How y'all doing? I hear you talking about camping in the beautiful Texas Hill Country.
Oh, we were talking about camping everywhere, all over, all the state parks in Texas. But yeah, that's been a pipe dream of mine for a while, and may be able to do it. Don't know yet.
I can only assume you've hit the Big Bend State Park. That's the reason why I got my license in the first place, because you can't go in there with a cell phone.
Well, Ray has activated a bunch of parks. He might know that one. Ray, have you been to that one? Is that the one Jack goes to?
Yeah, you know Big Bend State Park, Sammy. I have not activated it yet. The last time I was at Big Bend was back in my mountain bike racing days. That was about 15 years ago. I raced in Lajitas, and we stayed at the park. But yeah, that's definitely on my bucket list. There's actually a peak out there that no one ever activates, and I might go do a Summits on the Air out there one of these days soon.
I know that place very well. I took my Subaru with an antenna and a D-Star radio and went out there in the middle of the canyon there, the volcano, and probably about 60 miles. And there is nobody around. And I mean, there's probably like 3 people in a 50-mile radius. But you can reach the repeaters, and you get a flat out there, and you're out of luck. But it's a beautiful area out there.
Yeah, I miss it, man. I like I say, I haven't been out there in a good 15 years, and I definitely am looking forward to getting back out there.
I was out there once with my wife, and we stopped along the road and went down a trail to a river bed, and we heard the humming of the bees. And we looked around, and there was a swarm of bees. If they decided to attack, there's still be skeletons out there.
Oh wow. Yeah, we've got a handful of guys in the club that are real big Parks on the Air and Summits on the Air activators that go out west a lot. They go to the Davis Mountains and what is that, Monument Park in New Mexico, right there at the border of Texas, and they go out there quite a bit. Yeah, I haven't been able to make the trip out west yet for Parks on the Air. I've been heading east and Piney Woods and stuff.
What I haven't figured out yet is, as I'm traveling from, say, Austin or San Antonio to out west, how to switch repeaters in the car radio. I mean, it takes a lot of planning to pick up the repeaters as you go through. Is there an easier way?
I mean, other than just programming them in your radio before you leave, no, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's like I said, an exercise in planning. Where are you now?
I am in South Austin, just south of Slaughter, near Brody.
Copy that. My name is Dave, by the way, and I was in Boerne, Texas, and then got moved to San Jose for a 2-year period, and then clawed my way back to Texas against everybody's expectations. So now I'm in Bee Cave, surrounded by hills, and I'm surprised I'm able to reach the repeater.
Yeah, Roger that. You're coming in on the 320 machine?
Actually, I have no clue. I'm on 147325. That's all I know.
All right, well, tune it back to 147320. You're just off frequency, but with the FM, it's hard to tell. But yeah, the repeater you should be on is 147320, not 325. So, but you sounded great, man. Coming in loud and clear.
I just moved it, and it sounds clearer. So thank you for that.
Name here's Ray, by the way. I don't know if you caught that or not, but my name's Ray, and you'll catch me on here quite a bit.
Copy that. I have no idea if is this DT? I mean, is this digital as well as FM, and is there a D-Star around here? Is that active?
Sammy, I'll let you have that one.
What was the question? Something about D-Star?
Yeah, what are the D-Star machines? This repeater, to answer your first question, Mike, is no, it's not D-Star, but there are D-Star machines. Sammy, where are they? Do you know?
Oh, man, I really don't. I mean, I've heard people talk about them, but I've never gone to them because I don't have any ICOM stuff that'll do it. But some of these guys that bought these ICOMs ought to tell you, and there's a bunch of them on here.
Yeah, what about the fusion work? I'm on a digital fusion, I guess.
So a bunch of C4FM scattered everywhere. But if you ever used repeaterbook.com, if you go to repeaterbook.com and you put in the areas you want to look, and you just put in, there's got a big checklist of stuff that you search for, and you can search for D-Star, you can search for C4FM, and you can also find out, I think, we used to have an up-to-date repeater directory, but I had them take it down a year or so ago back because it wasn't current. And nobody has gone in and done another one, so, but I don't know where you're at. I think you said I couldn't tell what you were saying. Your audio's a little low on me. But you can find that real good on repeaterbook.com.
Copy that. That's how I found you. I am in VCave, and I'm very familiar with FM, and I'm trying to explore the digital realm. And I do have a D-Star, but I also have a Fusion, which gets DTM. I'm not quite sure of the acronym, since I haven't played in this space for 2 years. But I'm looking to get into it. You'll probably hear me again.
Yeah, Roger, it's really hard to keep up with unless you're really dedicated. Unless you're really dedicated to doing it. Especially the C4FM stuff. But I used to have the Wires X, all the node and everything, but I haven't done that in probably 2 years. So I wouldn't want to tell you, but I know that C4FM is on 146.88, and I think it's 442.150. I could tell you those two for sure.
Thanks. I'm going to have to look those up. I have no idea what I'm going to do next. It's an expensive sport if you really want to get into this. I do want to get the next level so I can talk to shortwave. But right now I'm playing on just a handheld, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Look at that repeaterbook.com. The only thing you have to keep in mind on that is that anybody can update those. So some of them don't get updated, some of them do, and they got wrong information. But they got a real good search parameter where you can go in there and put, okay, VHF D-Star, and then hit search. Then you can go back and hit UHF D-Star or whatever you want to look for. You just got to put in the parameters and it will search for you.
So I take it you guys play in FM most of the time?
Ray, I was going to tell you, Lance and his buddy were supposed to come get this Sears combination antenna matcher SWR power meter, but they haven't come and got it yet.
All right. I will answer the last question. Yeah, I mean, there are a handful of guys in the club that do D-Star in that, but I think most of the guys you'll hear on this frequency are FM. Well, I mean, we do an FM simplex. We do. There's some guys that do CW. I mean, we this pretty big club, and we're active in all different modes. So I don't know if you've joined. Have you seen our Discord server yet?
Not at all. I just did a handheld scan today and picked you up about 2 hours ago. So I haven't even started to crawl the surface yet.
Oh man, well if you join us on Discord online, you'll get all the answers. So you're gonna, I mean, we've got a very, very, very active club here. We do all sorts of things in all different modes and different times and different days. And so if you go to n5oak.org, on any page on the left-hand side, there's a big purple button that says "Join us on Discord," and I'm an admin. I can accept you if you wanna get access to that information. It's free.
Sounds like a great task for the weekend. Yeah, that would be cool. Can you repeat that website again?
n5oak.org.
n5oak.org.
Yeah, man. And it'll answer. I mean, in fact, I believe, pretty sure there's a channel dedicated to just DMR. There's digital mode channel. Yeah, there's one, DMR D-Star C4FM. We've got a channel dedicated to just that topic, and it's got a boatload of activity. So, for sure, definitely join us. You'll get all the answers you'll need.
Well, I'm a traveler, so when I get all those answers, I will travel as far away from this place as possible, pick up my handheld, and reach out.
Well, there you go, man. There you go.
All right, I'm signing off. N5TAR. Have a great night.
What was your call sign again?
November 5, Tango Alpha Romeo. TAR, yeah. Tango Alpha Romeo. It's been a while. It's been 2 years.
All right, man. Yeah, you're talking to K5BZI and N5TXR right now, so that's why you caught me off guard there. 73, man.
73, thank you.
All right, Sammy. Yeah, if that thing doesn't get picked up in a few days, let me know. I'll come get it.
Oh, they probably will. I was just throwing it out there, so light a fire.